Starting at number 10, we have the religion of Islam. This is a monotheistic religion in which Muslims believe in the oneness of Allah or God, and also they believe in the prophets. It's said that Islam began in 622 AD and spread throughout the world within a short period of time. According to a report by Pew Research Center, there are 1.8 billion Muslims in the entire world, and that number is projected to increase to 2.9 billion by the year 2060. However though, if you do ask Muslims, they will often say that Islam is in fact the oldest religion in the world, because Islam means submission in the context of submitting to the will of God, which Muslims say is the very first and only true religion. From there we move on to number 9, Christianity. Christianity was started in 300 AD before the advent of Islam as an organized religion. Christians believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and they follow the Bible. Generally, they follow more closely though the teachings of the New Testament of the Bible rather than the Old Testament of the Bible. Christianity remains the largest religion in the world with about 2.3 billion followers worldwide, making up nearly a third of Earth's population. That's a whole lot of people following this religion. But statistics show that the number of Christians in what many consider to be the religion's heartland, the continent of Europe, is actually on a decline. Moving on now to number 8, we have Taoism. Now, it was a tradition of Chinese origin that teaches living in peace and harmony. However, elements of Taoism can also be found in other religions, and it was started in the 4th to 3rd century BCE. Taoism has no founder and no founding date recorded. It grew out of various religious and philosophical traditions in ancient China, like shamanism as well as nature religion. But you see, Taoism has been connected to a philosopher by the name of Lao Tzu, who was around 500 BCE, and he wrote the main books of Taoism known as the Tao Te Ching. Buddhism is a religion that comes in at number 7. Buddhism, it's said that it started in what is known as the country of Nepal. Some say that it actually originated in India, depending on the sources, but either way, it's based on the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, and Buddhism is the main religion in many Asian countries. It is a religion that is about suffering and how to get free of it. The central teaching of Buddhism is nirvana, which is often referred to as attaining enlightenment, which is the most blissful state that a human being can attain. Buddhism is the world's 4th largest religion with over 520 million followers, or over 7% of the global population are known as Buddhists. Next up, let's look at Confucianism. Confucianism, also known as Ruism, is a tradition of philosophy and religion, a humanistic or rational religion, a way of governing, or simply put, a way of life. The worldly concern of Confucianism is based on the belief that human beings are fundamentally good and teachable, improvable, and perfectible through personal and communal endeavors. Confucianism focuses on cultivating virtue in a morally organized world, and there are more than 6 million people who follow Confucianism today. Alright guys, halfway to number 5, we gotta look at the religion of Shinto. This is the traditional religion of Japan that focuses on ritual practices to establish a connection between present-day Japan and its ancient past. It has many deities and they're called kami. Also, all kamis represent some natural power, and it has a lot of association with Buddhism, and many theories of Buddhism, as a matter of fact, have been added to Shinto. Worldwide, followers are estimated to total 3 million. So Shinto is really an optimistic religion, as humans are thought to be fundamentally good, and evil is believed to be caused by evil spirits. Jainism comes next at number 4. Now, when we look at Jainism, we see that it's an ancient religion in India that teaches that the path of liberation and bliss is to live a life of harmlessness and sacrifice. Today, there are about 6 million Jains in the world, and they represent less than 2% of the total Indian population. The Jain community in India is centered in Rajasthan as well as Gujarat, and many migrated to East Africa and from there to places like Britain. The purpose of Jainism is to achieve the liberation of the soul. It actually originated from Shraman tradition of India, and its originators are 24 Tirthankaras, of which the first Tirthankara is Lord Rishabdev, also known as Adinath, and the last being Mahavir Swami. Now, the religion that comes in at number 3 is Zoroastrianism. Historically, Zoroastrianism began in the 6th century BC, and this religion is based on the teachings of a book called Genda Avesta. And the book is a religious book of Zoroastrians. Only a few excerpts of this book still exist though, and its oldest parts can be from the period immediately after the Rig Veda. It's written in the Avestan language, which is very similar to the Sanskrit language, and Zoroastrianism is the ancient religion of Iran, and it survives in certain areas. It's also a monotheistic religion centered on the dualistic cosmology of good and evil, and an end-time prediction of the ultimate destruction of evil. Though it was the state religion of Iran at one point, and it was widely practiced in other regions inhabited by the Persian people, like Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and many of Central Asia, Zoroastrianism is today a minority religion in Iran. From there we move on to Judaism. This religion is considered to be the oldest Abrahamic religion in the world, and there are about 15 million followers who call themselves Jews today. It's one of the oldest monotheistic religions, and both Christianity and Islam, as many of you know, have a lot of similarities and roots in Judaism. These religions believe in one God and the moral teachings of the Hebrew Bible. So yes, Judaism is one of the ancient religions, which is about 4,000 years old, and Judaism now is the central religion of the state of Israel. Judaism is thought to have originated with the prophet Abraham, also known as Ibrahim, who lived 2,000 years before Jesus Christ. Now we end this episode off at number 1. This religion is Hinduism. Hinduism, or Sanatana Dharma, is believed to be the oldest religion in the world. According to mythological beliefs, Hinduism is said to be more than 90,000 years old. But according to scholars and research, Hinduism has its roots and customs dating back to about 5,000 years old. Hinduism is the third largest religion behind Christianity and Islam. Roughly 95% of the world's Hindus live in India. At number 10, we have Finnish paganism. It was the indigenous religion of Finland till it was Christianized, and this religion evolved from shamanism, and it shared several features including ancestor veneration. Now here's the thing. Finnish paganism, it was intertwined with nature, and they believed that the world came into being from the egg of a diving duck. Ukko was the name of the main god of this religion, and he was the sky and thunder god, and his feast day was held on April 4th, which was one of the most important dates in their calendar. This god shares some traits with the Norse god Thor, and one thing that they really had in common was that they both have a magic hammer. From there, let's look at Canaanite religion in at number 9. It was a religion of natives in the area between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River. Now, for many years, the only evidence about the existence of this religion was that it was mentioned in the Torah and Bible, where there were constant battles and fights between their Israelite enemies. On the northern coast of Syria, several Canaanites were discovered between 1927 and 1937. It was a polytheistic religion, and they had many deities, in which El was the supreme god and Bel was the sun, the god of thunder. This religion was slowly eroded by Israelite conquest and religious pressure until it just completely vanished. The religion at number 8 is Atenism. Atenism was a monotheistic religion, and it was introduced by Pharaoh Akhenaten. Now, it was designated as the official religion of Egypt during the reign of Pharaoh Akhenaten, and at first this religion was accepting of other Egyptian deities, but it later started to reject all of them. And because of this restrictive nature of this religion, many people, they just stuck to their older belief systems. So after the death of Akhenaten, well, his religion vanished along with him, as well as people just went back to their old beliefs after that. Next up, let's look at Minoan religion. It was a polytheistic religion with no name, and it was the religion of the inhabitants of Crete. Bull masks and horns were found during various excavations, which means that this religion was very much in touch with nature and animals. Now, there was no real centralized text for this, I guess, group of religions, and most of the information that we have gathered was derived from cave paintings and various archaeological discoveries on the island. Now, the main Minoan deity was a female nature goddess, and other than bulls, snakes, and double-headed axes played huge roles in their religious rites. The religion at number 6 leads us to Mithraism. This religion was brought to Europe from its Persian roots after the conquest of Alexander the Great. Now, extremely popular among Roman soldiers, this religion became one of the ancient Roman mystery cults. And this religious sect remained quite secretive. Now, Mithras was a Persian god of the sun, and no surviving text about Mithraism is found. Most of the knowledge that we have about this religion comes from the ruins of its temples. And these temples, they were made underground, and it's said that they were built cheaply. Next up at number 5, here we have Manichaeism. A Persian man named Mani founded this religion in the 3rd century AD. Now, the founder claimed that he was bringing together all of the religions of the world, including, get this, Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and Christianity. Now, he focused on the differences between good and evil, and Manichaeism was known for having knowledge as it is a road to salvation. The people who followed this religion were known as elect or the perfect, and they resembled Buddhist monks. This religion lost its popularity though in the Middle Ages. Let's look at Tengrism at number 4. This religion was one of the oldest religions in the world, and it was founded in the Bronze Age. It was developed by the people of the Altai Mountains in Central Asia. This religion was monotheistic, and it had heavy elements of ancestor worship. There were no holy books to this religion. However, it is believed that the Huns of the northern Caucasus may have worshipped Tengri, which was a god to which they sacrificed horses. The religion at number 3 is Assurism. This religion was almost identical to the older Babylonian religions, but it had one main difference. Instead of considering Marduk as the supreme deity, the Assyrians honored Ashur. Now, it was a polytheistic religion, and it had thousands of gods, with 20 of them being the most important gods. This religion has many stories in common with Judaism and also Christianity. In at the number 2 spot, we have Vedism. The religion of Indo-Aryans, Vedism was popular from 1500 BC to about 500 BC. This can be considered the foundation of the modern Hindu belief system because they share the same holy text and the 4 Vedas. This religion was polytheistic, and the gods were divided into 2 categories. And these categories were Devas, which are gods of nature, and Asuras, which are gods of moral concepts. Priests played a big role in the religious ceremonies, and their aim was to improve the lives of people and to please God. Now, the supreme god of Vedism was Indra. Now, the religion at number 1 is Olmec religion. Olmec religion was followed by the Mesoamerican Olmec people. This religion was popular from 1400 BC up until its destruction in 400 BC. Now, there was no direct evidence of this religion, so archaeologists had to really compare relics with the Mayan and Aztec religions, and they looked for similarities there. The most popular god of this religion was a jaguar god of rain and fertility. And although some theories suggest that there was no one main god, instead there were 8 equally important gods. The priests of this religion were said to have inhaled some sort of hallucinogen or some sort of drug to communicate with the spirits. Who really knows? Because there's just not much information about the Olmec religion.